The first punch landed on his jaw before he even saw the man's shadow. The heat of noon burned across the street, people scattering, dust rising like a silent witness, and yet Armin Raza did not back down. He kept his stance firm, even as the second blow knocked him onto the hard pavement beside the vegetable cart he had stopped to shield. He wasn't protecting the cart, though. He was protecting her, the trembling woman cornered by two furious men who claimed she owed them money. He did not know her name. He did not know her story. But he knew fear when he saw it in someone's eyes, and he knew he couldn't walk past it. As he pushed himself up, tasting blood and stubbornness together, one thought flashed in his mind like a warning siren: my son. I have to stay alive. I have to go home. But the third man arrived, someone Armin hadn't seen, and chaos exploded. A knife shimmered in the daylight. A shout rang out. And within minutes, the police sirens drowned out everything, including the woman's panicked voice trying to explain that Armin had saved her. What happened next felt too fast to be real: cold handcuffs, a misunderstanding, witnesses too afraid to speak, and Armin's world collapsing as a single father who could not afford mistakes. If you believe in kindness, courage, and second chances, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, Stories of Kindness. Your support helps more people discover meaningful stories like this one. Armin's life had always been a delicate balancing act. A widower for 6 years, he poured every piece of himself into raising his 8-year-old son, Xavier, a quiet boy with curious eyes and a habit of tugging at Armin's sleeve whenever he got nervous. Armin worked multiple daytime jobs, loading trucks at dawn, repairing bicycles by noon, running deliveries in the afternoon. His hands were perpetually bruised, calloused, worn from work, yet soft whenever they held his son's shoulders. To Xavier, he was a hero. To himself, he was simply a man trying not to fall apart. But now, as he stood in court, his face swollen, his shirt torn, his wrists cold from cuffs, Armin felt smaller than he had ever felt. The woman he protected never arrived to testify. She had vanished like smoke. The men who attacked her painted him as the aggressor. No one seemed to care who he really was, only who he appeared to be in their paperwork. And when the judge declared the sentence, 9 months in remand prison for assault and public disturbance, Armin felt the world tip beneath his feet. He remembered Xavier's face that morning as he left home, promising he would be back by lunch. He didn't return. After the verdict, Armin pleaded with the officers, begged to call home, but bureaucracy moved slower than grief. His brother eventually collected Xavier, but the boy cried for nights, asking for his father, waiting by the door each afternoon. In the prison van, Armin felt a heavy silence settle around him. Remand prisoners were a mixture of the broken, the angry, and the forgotten. As the gates clanged shut behind him and he stepped into the courtyard under the harsh white sun, something in his chest tightened. But Armin was not someone who surrendered. Not even to despair. Inside the prison, he met men from every walk of life. Some were loud, some quiet, some fierce, others defeated. But all were bound by the same invisible chain. No one outside cared who they were anymore. Armin kept his head low, focused on work duties, cleaning the courtyard, fixing broken lockers, repairing fans, anything that kept his hands moving and his mind from drowning. Still, every day he wondered where the woman had gone. Why she disappeared. Why she didn't speak up. Why he was paying the price for protecting her. Weeks passed. Then months. But life has strange ways of turning. One bright afternoon, when the sun hung directly above and cast shadows beneath the prisoners like small anchors, an unexpected commotion stirred the prison. The guards rushed to the main office, murmuring, confused. The warden walked out more straight back than usual, and moments later a convoy of black SUVs stopped outside the gates. Officers whispered among themselves. Prisoners exchanged curious glances. Then she stepped out. The same woman. The one Armin had protected on the street. Except now she looked entirely different, confident, poised, dressed in soft pastel corporate attire, her hair tied in a neat bun, sunglasses shielding half her face. She carried a file in one hand and purpose in her stride. Armin froze where he stood sweeping the courtyard. His heart thudded. His breath caught beneath his ribs. What was she doing here? The guards rushed toward her, and before anyone could make sense of it, she walked straight past them and into the warden's office. Minutes passed. Long, tense minutes. And then the warden himself approached Armin. "Prisoner 531, he said, his voice oddly careful, "you're wanted in the office. Now." Armin's pulse rushed in his ears as he walked. Inside the office, the woman turned toward him, removing her sunglasses slowly like someone stepping into the truth. "My name is Mahira Halim," she began softly, her voice steady but layered with regret. "And I owe you more than I can ever repay." Armin blinked, confused, hurt, angry, relieved, all at once. Mahira took a breath. "I didn't disappear. I was taken to a shelter the day of the incident. The men who attacked me were part of a loan shark group that had been threatening me. I was under protection during the investigation, and I had no idea they blamed you. I wasn't told. When I learned what happened, it was too late. You were already here." Her eyes glistened, though she kept her posture strong. "I thought the police cleared your name," she continued. "But a clerical mistake, it left you here. And when I finally saw the reports weeks later, I began searching for you. Today, I came to fix everything." The warden stepped forward, clearing his throat. "Ms. Halim is not just a witness. She's the majority shareholder of the private financial institution that manages the prison funds." Armin stared blankly. Mahira nodded. "In other words, I own the bank account this prison depends on. And I will use every ounce of that influence to correct the wrong done to you." Armin didn't know whether to speak or stay silent. Guilt clouded Mahira's face as she went on. "You saved me that day," she whispered. "And you ended up suffering because of it. But not anymore. Your release papers, they're being processed. You'll be home today." Armin felt his throat tighten. It had been months since he held Xavian. Months since he felt the sun without bars between him and the sky. Months since he heard anyone say the word home to him. Mahira continued, her voice trembling slightly for the first time. "And I'm not stopping there. I want to help you rebuild. You lost your job, your income, your stability, all because of protecting me. I can't undo the past, but I can take responsibility for it." Armin swallowed hard. Everything felt unreal. That evening, as the sun dipped into gold and the prison gates opened, Armin stepped out into the free world again. He felt the breeze on his skin, the hum of traffic, the warmth of daylight he had missed so painfully. And then he saw him. Xavian stood just outside the barrier, clutching a small paper drawing of him. His eyes widened with recognition, and then the boy ran, sprinting as fast as his small legs could carry him, crying, laughing, calling, "Baba! Baba!" Armin knelt, arms wide, and folded his son into the safest embrace the world could offer.